Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vibing With Sleezy, the podcast. I hope you liked episode 1. We are now on episode 2. This is my podcast. My name is Eric Clark, aka Sleazy E. And basically, this podcast has been a dream of mine. And I am based out of Louisville, Kentucky. And the main thing is I'm having different guests on with wide range of expertise, stories. I'll be sharing stories. It'll be a interesting time, fun time, and I'm really ready to get into the mix of this episode. We got a very, very special guest on tonight's episode. We have Miss Christeen Hernandez. This is one of my best friends, pretty much like my sister. She is based out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. We met in college. She owns 2 horses. And we're going to really get down to a wide range of subjects. She's a very interesting person and also has some expertise on the main thing we plug in is horses because there's so many questions. You know, me being based out of Kentucky, it's something I'm definitely interested in. But also I think for the listener, we'll be able to learn all about everything about horses and what it'd be like to own a horse. Also, too, we'll be diving into some mental health. We'll be diving into a little bit of a fun side of the show for traveling experts and people that love to travel. We'll be discussing Florida, some of her favorite places and some of the favorite things that she likes to do. So, without further ado, let me welcome Miss Christeen Hernandez. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
Yay!
Are you excited to be here?
I am.
Yeah, so Christeen, you drove up from Hendersonville, Tennessee to Louisville, Kentucky this weekend, and you are on episode 2. How was the drive?
Long and boring.
Long and boring. How many times do you think you've made that trip?
More to Lexington than Louisville. 2 to Louisville by myself.
Do you like going to Lexington?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lexington's great.
So when you go to Lexington, you like to go to the Kentucky Horse Park, correct?
Mainly, yes.
Yes. Okay. And so when in Lexington, if a lot of people don't realize in Lexington, Kentucky, tons of horse farms. Horses everywhere. Pretty much. You also participated in for quite a while doing the hurdles. What is that called?
Different titles depending on the style you do, but I did 3-day eventing.
Okay.
That's what it was. 3-day phase. Testing the riders, basically the partnership with you and your horse.
Okay.
Because you're doing it over with upper levels. You're doing, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal.
Gotcha.
But in lower level eventing, if you really want to get into it, a lot of it's broken down either into a 1-day or a split 2-day.
Okay. And what is that called when you're riding the horse and you're jumping over that?
It's just jumping.
Jumping? Okay.
It's just jumping, but there are different styles of quote-unquote jumping. Mm-hmm. There's the 3-day eventing, show jumping, which you see a lot, what they call a Grand Prix. Gotcha. It's high, top level. These horses are jumping almost 6 foot. Whoa. With 5-foot spans. Liverpools that are like a 6-foot span, and it's all about speed.
Okay.
And then there's Hunter Jumper, which is the same. You're jumping, but it's a little lower. It's a lot more slow, a lot more pretty. It's kind of controversial actually, the Hunter Jumper world, just with people say it's all about looks.
Gotcha.
Am I one of those people? Yes, I think it is. Mm-hmm. But it does show a lot of partnership as well, but it's a slower version of the other 2, basically.
Okay. And, and to dive into it with your passion for horses, you actually own 2 horses.
Yes.
And give the audience 2 names of the horses.
They're off-racetrack thoroughbreds, a.k.a. OTTB. So they are thoroughbreds as the breed. Mm. One was raised here in Kentucky, in Lexington, on Windstar Farm.
Nice.
Where Justify came from.
Shout out to Windstar.
And then the other one was raised up in New York and did a lot of racing up there. But they are, the jockey names are Long for the City, okay. A.k.a. City, and Bill of Rights, a.k.a. Willie.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. They both have a lot of personality. I've met both horses, and they get along, and they're a lot of fun. You've really got a good bond with them. How long have you had them?
We got them in 2017, so it's been about almost 4 years.
Okay.
With them. I tend to bond more with Willie, and my mother tends to do more work with City.
Okay.
It was actually supposed to be the opposite, but Willie had a lot more spirit, and was a little bit more hot than City was, so we kind of traded off.
Gotcha. So when diving into horse ownership, what does it entail? You hear all these people, these kids, and people, back in the day, I want to own a horse, or I think a lot of people just want to randomly own a horse, but there's a lot that goes to it. It's not just like having a dog or a cat and you change the litter box. And so diving into that, what are some of the things that entails being a horse owner?
It's expensive.
Okay.
If you are doing it the correct way and trying to give your horse the best life possible, it's not going to be cheap. Although it also depends on the kind of horse you get. Different horses have different needs. Your backyard ponies, or a good sturdy horse like a quarter horse, a paint, a Tennessee Walker. A lot of horses like that, they can live off of like a handful of grain as long as they're getting good quality hay and grass.
Gotcha.
But having a horse, you do have to vaccinate them. I'm a huge pro-vaccination person when it comes to vaccinations for anybody.
Awesome.
You have to vaccinate your horse. There are tons of diseases out there they can get. Strangles is basically like the COVID version for horses. It's highly contagious, and once one horse has it, it spreads like wildfire.
Gotcha.
West Nile virus, a big thing here in the South. You have to vaccinate your horse for that. Rabies, believe it or not, yes, you have to vaccinate your horse for rabies. And if you do any showing, any trail riding, or you take your horse to another place to ride, every barn is going to require that you have your horse vaccinated. Okay. And yes, that costs money, but you have to do it. It's part of owning an animal.
And when you're doing that, when you're owning a horse and you need to get the horse vaccinated or even a doctor visit, most time in this industry, or most time in that lifestyle, you're bringing a doctor to the house, right? To the barn,
yes,
to the stables.
You can trailer your horse like Tennessee Equine, both in Gallatin now and Spring Hill. Thompson Station, Tennessee. You can trailer your horse in. That you can do that, but not all of us have trailers. I don't have a trailer.
Gotcha.
So yes, you have to pay a farm call. Farm call can range, between $70 to $100, and that's just for your horse. Oh, hey, my horse is lame today. Can you come give me come check him out and see if he has anything going on?
Oh, that's cool.
And there's nothing wrong. It looks like he maybe just has an abscess, which those are quite. Not always, but they're pretty easy to, get rid of.
Pretty common.
Yeah, it's very common, especially during the rainy season. But you just paid, say, $70 for your vet to tell you that, and you could have saw that coming. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's expensive.
Yeah.
I've had a $700, $800 vet bill because my idiot ran into a fence and punctured his chest. Oh. And that bill took 2 years to pay off. So it's not cheap, but at the same time, it's worth it because it's fun.
Yeah.
I've been riding since I was 4, and
wow.
I didn't own my first horse till I moved here.
That's incredible.
And I leased in Texas and did a lot of lesson riding and a lot of horse camps down there. But having a horse, it's expensive, but it's fucking worth it.
Oh, that's the way it should be in anything. If you have a passion for it, if you feel like that's something that you love to do, you gotta really keep pushing. And I think a lot of times it is ownership that's so important, and to finally have something that's yours and you can take pride in, that's really cool. So when a horse, basically, a lot of times I've asked you questions about this when I've came down to visit. It's freezing cold in Tennessee in the winter, and I'm like, how the hell is the horse is not cold? So pretty much describe, so you've explained before, they have like a thicker skin, but also like hair on the top of their back that they kind of get adjusted to the winter weather?
Yeah, I call it fluffing out.
Okay.
So in the winter, horses, let's rewind. So in the winter, it really depends. Mm-hmm. If you're an avid rider, you're at a barn that has a nice indoor arena, and your horse is stalled at night, and most of the time, not most of the time, but they're stalled at night. They go out during the day, come in, and have that kind of schedule. Yeah. Your horse typically will be shaved. Okay. We will body clip a horse, basically to help promote, healthy cooling after working out. Because if they do have a lot of fur and you have a heavy workout, he's sweating, and you see the sweat, that horse is going to take a long time to cool off. And you don't want to throw them back out when they're wet. You know, they get sick that way. They get, anything can happen. So if you're an avid rider and you're consistently exercising your horse or working your horse, 5-7 days a week, body clipping, you have different blankets. So yes, horses wear blankets. Okay. That's part. Not everyone has them. I have some for my horses because mine are thoroughbreds and Willie's a wimp. And City fluffs out like a buffalo. Oh. Okay. So I have two different varieties here. I've seen Willie stand out there shivering while it's 45 degrees and barely misting. Mm-hmm. And City has no issue going on. Yeah. But there's different weights in the blanket. So you have like a thinner blanket, which is a sheet. It's very, very waterproof. Something that horses can wear in the fall and the spring. It's a lot of times what we'll put on them while it's raining outside, and if it's like 50 degrees or colder. Then you have a medium weight, which I also have for mine, which is about really all you need in Tennessee if you don't body clip your horse, which I don't, because I don't show or compete. I pleasure ride basically and just have fun with it.
I feel that.
But they have a medium weight, which I put on them when it's 30 degrees or colder.
Okay, so that's awesome that humans have found a way to keep horses warm, but it's also too, it's like they pretty much, animals adapt to everything outside.
I didn't blanket mine at all this winter. Like, they haven't been blanketed. We had one bad cold streak, but they fluffed out enough to where they're comfortable. Mm-hmm. And as I said, it's been so rainy over there and snowy, I haven't been able to ride. Yeah. And so as of right now, they're on vacation.
Now, what are some of the brands of food that horses eat? I mean, what do you feed your typical horse? I know you mentioned a couple of the special horses might just eat grain and stuff, but what are some of the things?
So, horse feed is a lot different than what you would feed a cat or dog. Purina, that does make dog and cat food. They do make horse feed. It's huge market in the horse world. I actually do feed my horses Purina. And then it's like a pelleted food, basically, like tiny little pellets that break apart easily.
Oh, okay. So it's actually easy on the teeth, kind of.
It is. Although their back teeth can chew down anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've fed my horses some crazy stuff before, so. Yeah. And then we also feed a sweet feed, which is just a higher fat count. So that will consist of like molasses, oat, and different types of grains, just to kind of keep weight on horses. Willie is a hard keeper, so he needs that extra fat. Yeah. While City does not. Gotcha. City holds better weight than Willie does.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But the brands out there that sell horse feed are Purina, Triple Crown. I feed the sweet feed from them. It's great. There's also Nutria. We did feed them that for a while, but it was a little more costly and had the same things that Strategy had. Okay. There's also Somoli, big thing out in Florida. Buckeye Nutrition, which is big up in Ohio. And I know there's other Calvor. That's another really good brand. A little more expensive, but it's a great brand. And Cypro was another one. It's a big one in Florida as well.
And so now that I guess we could maybe get into some other type of horses. So what would you say some are your favorite horses out there?
Like breed-wise?
Yeah, breed-wise, like types.
I obviously will always love thoroughbreds. I love them. I always have ever since I was a kid. Now I'll always own one. Mm-hmm. I love Arabians. That's what my mother grew up riding and raising. So a lot of my horse literature when I was a kid were these old Arabian Horse World magazines from like the 80s. And they were like super thick magazines. And they had these beautiful pictures of Arabian horses. And I do love that breed. They're hot-headed. They can be a little spastic and fun, but they have great energy. Yeah, and that's awesome. And they're just beautiful. They're beautiful to look at. If you have a chance, Google native costume, Arabians, or Arabian native costume. Google that and watch the videos. It's wild.
And you love, so another animal that you love that's also in the horse world is you love zebras.
Yeah, zebras are part of the equine family. Just they're the wild ones, kind of like the Mongolian horses out in Mongolia.
Well, I wanted to talk about zebras, so I actually learned some facts recently here a few days ago about zebras that I had no idea. So, similar to the bongo animal out of Africa, zebras have white stripes, of course. And the reason why is it's to protect them from diseases, from certain bites they might get from bugs and different things. But a crazy fact that I couldn't believe. So out of all zoo animals, I mean, I'm talking hippos, lions, your rhinoceros, the animal that causes the most attacks of any zookeepers and causes the most injuries is the zebra. And you wouldn't think that. Like when you're looking at a zebra, you would think, oh, this is a common horse animal, it's just kind of grazing. But these things, number one, they kick lions in the temple to take them out. And also, I was sharing with Christine and my buddy Brian the other day that the deal with zebras too is that they are very competitive, and if they know a zebra's pregnant and they wanted to get that zebra pregnant, they'll try to kill the baby at that time and then basically try to repregnate the zebra. So zebras are savages. I mean, just plain and simple. But I think I think they're very interesting. Today, I actually took Christine out to the Louisville Zoo. And we got to go to see the zebras, and
those zebras
they were hungry, weren't they?
Those zebras are pacing like my fucking horses do when they know it's time to eat.
Yeah, they were hungry.
They pace around the gate and wait and wait.
Yeah.
But with zebras being savages, horses can be a savage.
Yeah.
I have a permanent giant scar on my thigh thanks to my horse Willie, who literally punched me with his hoof while getting his shoes put on.
Wow. You know, my dad, what's crazy is I broke my wrist in 5th grade, falling off a fence like a dumbass, and my dad ended up on the backside on Oaks. He ended up getting kicked by a horse 3 days later, so we both had our arms in a cast, but he actually raised a horse. He didn't see it, freaking revved its feet up and kicked him, and he blocked it with his arm, so his arm was like blocked
when I was in high school, this is one reason why I'll never own a mare, which, for all you people who don't know, a mare is a female horse. I will always own a gelding, which is a gelded, aka neutered horse. But I had a mare. She was also a thoroughbred, beautiful under saddle. She was great to ride. She was a beautiful ride. I jumped her. I evented her. But she had horrible, horrible stall manners. When it came time to eat, she just became the most savage bitch at the barn. I was grooming her, which is basically brushing your horse.
Yeah.
And I was brushing her off. I was getting ready to ride her, and she heard the feeding coming around. And, they put her food outside her stall. And as I was brushing under her neck, she grabbed my arm and would not let go. And I was like, fucking bitch, god damn it, get off me. I threw my brush on her head, and she eventually let go.
Yeah.
And my arm was just red as shit. And I ran to my trainer, which I got, we had some ice in the fridge, and I put that on my arm. The next day, I woke up to go to school, and my arm was literally black and blue from the top of my shoulder all the way to past my elbow, basically.
Oh my god.
She did not let go. I mean, she was hanging on dear life.
Yeah.
Because she's a bitch. So, it was in springtime, and I went to Wilson County schools, which were awful because their dress code fucking was ridiculous. Note, I came from a different state where no one cared. And so I wore a hoodie a lot, but when it's springtime, it was kind of warm. So I took my jacket off, and next thing I know, I'm getting called down to my counselor's office.
Oh, shit. They think you're being abused.
So she sat me down and asked me all these ridiculous questions, like, how's your home life? How's your relationship with your boyfriend at the time? And all these things. I'm like, I'm great. My mom loves me. My parents are divorced, but I'm living a great life. My boyfriend and I are fine. What's this about? Well, beating around the bush, he's trying to ask me what's going on with my arm. So
I got bit by a horse. Bitch.
I mean, literally, I was like, I got bit by my horse. And it was just like, no one believed me. She told me 20 times, it's okay. You can tell me what's going on. It's okay. I'm like, I got bit by my horse. So She calls my mother, which, side note here, my mom is a 30-plus year veteran paramedic who, at that time, probably came off a 24-hour shift and just wanted to sleep for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this woman calls my mother, and my mom answers and is like, what the hell's going on? And my mom's like, my daughter got bit by her fucking horse.
That's serious.
I mean, people don't understand. I had to sit there on Google and show this woman pictures of people's brutalized arms from horses.
And it's also too, it's like, to be honest, if you were going to make shit up, why the fuck would you say a horse bit me if you were going to make shit up? Like, that's not the most, like, common thing. Like, hey, I just woke up today, fucking horse bit me. Like, no. Oh, yeah, and by the way, it also ate my homework. But no, it's just one of these cases where it's like, if a horse bites you, I'm going to fucking believe you. Because I'll be honest, that story was creative as hell. Like, you just pulled that shit out of your ass. But, I mean...
it's a true story.
No, I believe it.
I know, I'm just saying, it's a true story because I tell that to everybody when they ask about, horses can be brutal. I'm like, I have 2 great stories I can tell you right now.
Oh.
I have a third one, too, about my legs getting beaten up because he fell in a hole. But that wasn't really...
Whoa.
He wasn't being mean.
Yeah.
He tripped. So that's why I don't really explain that. I like to tell them the horse is being dicks to me story.
I got you. So, moving on to something that, in the horse category that I want to talk about, and something that you get excited to see when you do come to Louisville, and actually we go to the Middletown area for this, is a tack shop. Mm-hmm. So, explain to the average non-horse person, just anybody has no knowledge of the horse industry, what is a tack shop?
So a tack shop is where you get gear for your horse. They have Western tack shops, they have English tack shops, and then they have like combined. It's basically where you can get halters, bridles, your saddles, your bits, just gear for your horse, gear for yourself, boots, riding pants, gloves, special socks for your boots, just horse stuff basically. Mm-hmm. Things you can't find at your average, pet store. Yeah. I mean, Tractor Supply, yes, they do have a horse section, but theirs is mostly for feed and your supplements, things like that. Mm-hmm. Not so much for tack.
Gotcha.
And, yes, I do get excited when I come up to either Louisville or Lexington because they have tons of English tack shops. And sadly, us in Middle Tennessee, we don't have much. We have a Dover in Franklin, which, it's about an hour from my house.
Now, thing that I noticed in tack shops is, you got your saddles, you got your ropes, your helmets, you got pretty much your shoes, you got pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is
clothes.
What it should be.
Yeah, and so they got a really nice one over there in Middletown. But the one thing, and I'm a big collector of random stuff, and I think a lot of people that know me personally know I love to collect stuff, but something in there I found interesting to find in a tack shop, and I didn't realize how collectible of an industry. It's nothing I'm into, but I respect it, and they have quite a bit at this tack shop. So
it's
called
Briar?
Briars.
Yeah.
So explain what is a Briar collectible? So basically, it's a company that's been creating these toy horses, but they are profile all kinds of horses,
yes.
Correct?
So Briar, I don't know when it started. I can't give you the deep history.
And that's Breyer? Briar?
Yes, Briar.
Okay.
Briar horses are a big thing in the little girl growing up equestrian world. And I still would collect them too if they weren't so expensive. Yeah. But they're just horse models and they are beautifully done. The people who make them do a great job with the definition of the muscles and the body of the horse itself. My mom collected them when she was, a teenager and a kid. So I have hers from the 70s and the 80s.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's super dope.
It's wild.
And you're looking at, some of these are extremely valuable too.
Oh yeah, the Justify one, that guy it was almost $70, $80 for a plastic horse.
Yeah, that's what, and I noticed they have ones where they actually make the silks that were from the actual event.
Oh yeah, and then they have horses from all different kinds of riding styles and disciplines. They have famous barrel horses that are in the Western world. In the English world, they have very famous, a dressage horse, Villarago. who was a very famous dressage horse. They made a model of him, and it was like it matched to a T of this horse.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they're fun, and like I said, I would still be collecting the newer ones if they just weren't so expensive, because adulting sucks, and you can't throw money like that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, I'd be buying all kinds of stuff. I love to collect, but no, I think that I think with those Briars, it's just it's the extreme amount of detail, especially on a toy that is manufactured, at multiple levels, and you're finding them in different states, different countries. So I think it's just pretty cool, and I thought too the most impressive thing about them is the packaging. I mean, for the packaging to be so detailed and bright, I mean, it stands out. The other thing that I want to talk about is, and I guess we've talked about zebras, the zoo, we've talked about horses, of course, but diving into you working at a vet clinic. So, what's it entail? I mean, do you feel like every day you go in, there's gonna be something new happening?
Lately, it's been like that. Well, no, I take that back. It's been steady, but I am a receptionist at a vet clinic up in Hendersonville. I used to work down in the boarding facility, which that was a good start. Mm. It was fun, but you get burned out, and actually, thanks to COVID, I got a new job title.
Oh, that's cool.
Being a receptionist there and working there in the boarding
facility. You have something positive coming
out
of it, yeah.
But working in the boarding facility and doing some vet assistant work as well while I'm there, it's fun. Like, it really is. I love my coworkers. We all have a great family vibe in there.
That's awesome.
I swear we're a bunch of like just not wild, but like some of us, I feel like we're misfits, but we all fit in together so well. We
have a good time.
Yeah, we really do. We have a great time. We all connect well. We all give each other shit about everything. I mean, everyone at my job gets shit from somebody, but it's in the most best way possible.
I mean, you said that y'all make fun of somebody being constipated.
Yeah, I mean, we don't make fun of them. We talk about it and we discuss it.
It's an open forum. It's an open forum at the vet.
Poop and pee is so open there. Like, I can't even. We know each other's bowel movements way too much. TMI, but that's how close we are.
Holy shit, I got you.
But
That's
we're great. We're just
That's
a giant
hilarious.
family. Like, it's like we're all the cousins and crazy aunts and second moms and everybody.
How many pets do you think you're seeing on average a day?
A lot.
I mean, over 40?
Oh yeah.
60?
I would say around there.
And basically, when they're coming in, I mean, what are your hours usually?
We work Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., but our appointments are from 8 a.m. to 4:30.
Nice. Okay.
So we have surgeries. We do basic surgeries, neuter, spays. We do dentals on cats and dogs, growth removals. There have been bloat surgeries there, which is like an emergency surgery when a dog's stomach turns. Mm-hmm. It's the equivalent of colic in a horse, basically.
Okay.
But we've done those surgeries. It's an average, cat and dog clinic for the most part. But we do have some fun stuff that comes in. We've seen, I'm trying to think, we've had a cat's tail caught in an electric recliner before.
Oh my God.
And we had that, and the doctor had to amputate the cat's tail.
Ah, damn.
So he ended up having a nub. But it was actually really cute, because when he came back, his little nub would move, thinking his little cat tail was moving.
That's
so
hilarious.
It was a good outcome, but he was stuck underneath the recliner and got stuck.
Man.
So it's kind of the cat's fault.
And yeah, owning a cat, sometimes I do get that fear. Like, I'll be stretched on the recliner. I'm like, is he under there? But usually he's in my lap. But he's a wild boy. But yeah, cats can be they can always be very curious. So with dogs coming in, I mean, you're basically seeing all kinds of types, which is really cool. So you get a variety every day.
Oh yeah, we've had Great Danes, King Corsos. We have the little guys, like little Shih Tzus and teacup poodles. And then we have your everyday Labradors, Goldies, the Golden Doodles that are big nowadays. Dachshunds, which are my preference because I have one. Yeah. My little wiener dog. Both my pets go to the clinic. They love the doctors there.
And then with your and now when you have the dachshunds come in or whatever, so to talk about dachshunds, pretty much So dachshunds have a big history, right? They were actually a dog used in what, war, correct?
Yeah, they were used. I want to say it was World War One or something. They used to use them for like bomb sniffing or taking letters to soldiers because they were so low to the ground.
Yeah.
But their name actually means badger dog.
And that's hilarious. That would be hilarious, picturing being like in a trench in war, and you get this letter from your wife, and it's a letter basically telling you that, you know, she can't wait to cook you lasagna, and a dachshund, like when you get back home, and a dachshund just randomly pops up in the trench with a little thing like, hey, what's up? And then you give him a pet, and it's like, dachshund's like, I gotta go back to base, and the dachshund just waddles off. Like, it's just one of these things where it's hilarious to picture. I love dachshunds, but of all dogs, to be just walking through the war, just like, hey, how you doing?
Well,
Got,
like I said, I think that's
on.
what they did. I know that there was a famous dachshund.
No, that's why I brought it up. Yeah. I knew there was some kind of history to them.
Not sure what he did.
Yeah, dachshunds are definitely the little low rider dogs. I mean, they're hilarious.
Most badass. Like, there's a culture of people online that love their dachshunds, and I am part of that community.
My grandmother should be probably me. My grandmother just turned 90 and last week, and basically with her, she had a dachshund named Gretchen, and I used to play with it as a kid. I remember me and that dachshund would run everywhere, and eventually one day its legs got so tired it just kind of stopped. So I had to pick up the dachshund and carry it all the way back home. But it's just they're a lot of fun.
Well, you've met my dachshund.
Well, of course. And your dogs, if you want to shout your two dogs on the mic, so you got Turk and Summer.
Turk Wienerman.
Turk Wienerman,
and
okay.
Summer. That's nice. His full name.
Yeah, and so you basically say with your dogs, you know, they like to burrow too, right? They're or one does, right?
Turk
likes to burrow
in blankets,
right?
And that's because dachshunds like to burrow. So the original name Badger Dog. Basically, dachshunds are bred in Germany to dig out badger holes and fight badgers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So that's the original reason why the dachshund was bred, was to fight badgers. Therefore, their name means badger dog. Dachshund.
Now you know. I mean, that is, I mean, that's wild. I mean, because that's super cool. And see, this is the stuff I love to have on the show because it's out of the ordinary, it's different, and again, the main thing is I want people to vibe, I want people to laugh, I want people to have a good time and have fun on the show and like listen, but all the listeners too, I want them to learn something, take some away, and that, I mean, shit like that is super fucking
interesting. Next time you see a dachshund, you'll be like, well, that motherfucker came from a badger hunter.
That motherfucker killed the honey badger. But I mean, do you remember when that honey badger video actually took off?
Yes, I do.
It took off to the point of it was in a whole nother world. I mean, I felt like people were just talking about it all the time.
I think I had Turk at the time too.
I played baseball at J-Town High School, and I remember we're playing Valley, the first game of the season.
No, it came out later.
Well, did it come out later?
Yeah,
I remember a kid playing first base at Valley, and he kept going, Badger, 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 Badger.
That's
Badger.
A different Badger video.
Oh, so what Badger video is that?
That's the Badger, Badger, Mushroom video. That came out.
That did come out in high school because that came. Yes. It was junior year, and we're playing Valley. And
I remember that video.
This kid had no front teeth, and we're playing at Valley, and I swear I'm not making this shit up. And I get walked. I get put in the game like third inning. I get walked, and I come down to first, and I'm sitting there, and I look back, and this kid goes, Badger, 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 Badger. And the field had potholes in it. We blew them out like 20-0. But at the end of the day, all I kept hearing, and shit, for 3 days straight, I'm trying to go to bed. Badger, 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 Badger.
So that's
this kid with no teeth from Valley.
So that video came out around the same time. If you want to go down a little YouTube road, my spoon's too big. That came out around the same fucking time because I remember those videos so vividly. Those were the best videos.
Those were good, yeah. And then what about Unforgivable?
Yes, but don't forget also
sandwich waffle fries for free.
Don't forget my anus is bleeding. You can't forget that one.
Oh, there was so many. I remember getting on, some of my favorite, diving into YouTube, some of my favorite YouTube actual videos is, number one, I love Stone Cold E.T. It's basically a guy dressed as E.T. in a White Castle drive-thru, and he's ordering a couple cheeseburgers, but he's talking exactly like Stone Cold. I also love this dude Remy. Now I loved his videos out of France, but I have learned lately that he might be kind of a piece of shit. Some controversial stuff in him, but his video's been pretty funny. It's just there's a lot of
what about the 50,
there's so many funny different.
There was also like 55.
Yeah,
you remember 55?
Yeah, and then you had the shoes. You had shoes.
Oh god, she had a comeback video.
And then you had the muffin video. The muffins. Muffins.
Yeah.
And then it was like blueberries,
blood.
Yeah, it just looked
there was also
glass. It's a glass.
There was also another one. Oh, I want to bang bang bang. I don't want to love you. I want to bang bang.
That was another.
I used to listen to that video with my best friends back in when they would come visit from Texas up here. We would sit there and listen to that fucking bang bang video over and over and over again because it was so funny.
That's
we would
hilarious.
lose it.
That is hilarious. Yeah, I loved diving into YouTube because I could sit there all day and watch it all night. I mean, there's so much funny stuff and there's so much new stuff, but also too, it's like I feel like on YouTube, it's like you can connect with the whole world.
Yeah, I watch a lot of underground docs on there about stuff, so it's kind of a boredom thing.
Well, I mean, YouTube is also what's great is with smart TVs now, you can just basically connect your YouTube, like they have like the YouTube app, you just pull your YouTube up on your TV, and it's like, I can watch all these old videos that I used to. You can watch, Charlie bit my finger. Charlie. That one blew up.
Oh, I watched all
that one. I think reached 2 billion.
I watch all the SNL. Like if I just want to watch a certain skit from SNL, that's what I use YouTube for. Like the other day, what was it? A side note here, guys. I have a huge, major crush on Bill Hader. So just throwing that out there. I think Bill Hader is the fucking bomb. And same with John Mulaney. I don't care if he has a coke addiction.
They're both hilarious.
But I was looking for... I was very high, and I really just wanted to watch the Alan video. Okay. Where he's in the glass box, and he's the Alan. He's doing like the casual entertainment. I sat there and rewatched that video for a while on my phone after I watched it on the TV. Because it's just so funny. Like, I lost it. But I will go on there and watch all the SNL stuff. The Adam Sandler Pepper Boy. He's the Pepper Boy.
I remember I just recently watched like a Will Ferrell one from 2009. It was like the season opener, whatever season that was. Shit was comedy. And what's great is like some of my favorite skits on SNL are when they start laughing their asses off at like each other.
And they can't hold it.
Oh, and I feel like that happens every time. What's his face? Who has the late night show? Jimmy Fallon. Every time Jimmy Fallon's on there, he's losing it.
Well, not just Jimmy Fallon, but I was watching back when what's his name? It was when Bill Hader played Stefan. Seth Meyers did the Weekend Update. Yeah. And he played Stefan, and I always see Bill Hader starting to lose it when he's talking. And it cracks me up because they're laughing at their own shit.
Yeah,
is what it is.
I mean, and they just can't control because they're keeping that straight face. And I used to love doing that shit. Like I swear, like Whose Lines It Anyways? That was another show that would crack me up just with like the way.
Game shows were never a big thing with me.
You weren't a big game show person?
No. I like I said, SNL.
Would you be on a game show?
Hell no.
You wouldn't be on a game show?
Hell no, that's so much pressure.
You wouldn't be on Wheel of Fortune to spin a wheel and guess some puzzles for 30 minutes. Shit, you're not even on there 30 minutes. You're on there for 12 and a half of the commercials?
I would either get so pissed off that I lost that they would censor me.
Oh.
Or I would end up stuttering like a moron.
You're like, fuck you, say Jack. But no, it's just like, it's one of these cases where you're sitting there watching Wheel of Fortune, and I'll tell you what, I know I have no hand in the duel. I know I'm not going to make any money off those puzzles, but I'm watching some guy and he'll be like, I think it's blueberries and lemonade. And they're like, Burr. And then it's like, no, I'm sorry about that, Jason. And then the next one's like blueberries, strawberries, and lemonade. And it's like something, completely different. And then dude's like, oh fuck, I should have. You feel bad because it's like the dude had $1 million token. He had $17,000. He just guessed 17 consonants. He fucking bought 40 vowels, and it's just like then he loses just on one.
I couldn't do it. It's too much pressure.
Or I love when somebody's on a hot streak and they got like $24,000, and clearly the puzzle literally says zebra house, and the guy will be like, I'll take a Y, say Jack, and it's just like completely off, like, it does not make any sense. And you're sitting there at home, you're like, fuck this guy.
There's a great South Park episode about Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I mean, Wheel of Fortune
but I'm not going to say the word that was on there.
But Wheel of Fortune is a wild, I think that's wild. That show's been around for close to, shit. I feel like
Price is Right has been around longer.
What was it? What was the original host on Price is Right? We had Bob Barker.
Bob Barker, man.
And the deal with Bob Barker was that
Mr. Get your cats and dogs spayed and neutered.
And it's so fucking cool that he got in that Adam Sandler movie, Billy Madison. Happy
Gilmore.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm getting my words tangled up there. But yeah, Happy Gilmore. He made a fucking great cameo in that movie.
I know, it was great.
To fucking fight Adam Sandler, it was genius. Like, he probably got up on set. It's like, hey, you're gonna kick my ass in this movie. It's like, all right, sign me up.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Oh, what a great fucking word! Like, great line for a movie.
I love Adam Sandler. I love all his movies.
Kurt Plunk watching that on Price is Right, the game where they would drop the token at the top and it go down, and it's like sometimes when that's another thing, they spin that wheel. I'd be sitting there, I'd be like, I get so into it back in the day, like, because I used to love missing school, and it'd be 11 a.m., and I'd be sitting there in bed, eating my snack, watching the 11 o'clock Price is Right, and I'm like, yeah, CBS go hard. And then at noon, it's like all TV dies, but I just knew that 11 to 12 o'clock slot on a weekday, I was like, yeah, Price is Right. Price is Right's always here.
We never, we had cable, so I never watched the local shit.
You never watched Price is Right?
I did watch it. I did.
Did you? Do you like Drew Carey now as Price Right? Have you watched the new?
No. I watched it with Bob Barker, and then once Bob Barker's gone, I don't watch it.
Now, what about? Did you ever watch the Drew Carey show?
No.
Cleveland Rocks. Have you ever heard that theme song?
Yes.
Yes. So I felt like that theme song took Cleveland to the next level. Like, I heard that song so much when I was a kid, but I think it's also because Drew Carey was always on like at 2 a.m. You'd be sitting there flipping through channels. You have Frasier, Seinfeld.
See, Seinfeld, I did.
I
love Seinfeld because my grandparents watched it.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. That was one of my favorite lines. But I could probably name 100 Seinfeld moments that are just classic. Like the one where he had the Kung Pao chicken and he's sweating.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a Kung Pao. It's a Kung Pao. And dude's like, I don't believe you. But I love, too, that people don't realize that the dude that created Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, is the creator of Seinfeld, like with Jerry. And the other thing, too, that's crazy is he is the voice of Steinbrenner, the George's boss from the Yankees, on the show. So I love that. I love any show you watch and people make cameos or even make a voiceover, even on animation. And it's like, I know that person. Like
Scrubs, that's one of my big shows I loved. And a lot of famous people came on to Scrubs.
Oh,
a lot of people did.
It seemed like the deal with Scrubs was that it turned into having a really big following. I mean, a really big
after
loyal.
Like seasons 1 through 6, hands down for that show, those were the best. I didn't watch it when they started adding the newer interns in there, just because it wasn't the same. Mm-hmm. It took away a lot of characters, and it just didn't have that same feel. Like it wasn't JD's head talking anymore. It wasn't his thoughts. It was someone else, and that's not right.
Now with the show, did you like the janitor guy?
Oh, God. Janitor was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved him. And I loved him in other stuff, like in the show The Middle.
Yeah. He
played good in that, too. I really enjoyed him as an actor.
He seems like he's got that dry sense of humor that's just, it's pretty funny. Now, when you're watching a comedy show, what's your thoughts and feelings on it? It's just something that I don't think I've ever asked anybody really on laugh tracks that are applied already in the show, where it's like that laughing audio clip they play every time something's funny said. It's
like on a sitcom?
Yeah, on a sitcom. I mean, do you like that, or do you think it's not needed?
I mean, it depends. Like
SNL, it's that live audience.
It's a live audience,
which I like that. I'm cool with live audience, which they don't do that shit anymore. Even before COVID, they ain't done that shit since Home Improvement.
I will say, I like Tim Allen's show, The Last Man Standing, and that was filmed in front of a live audience, so there was laughing, and it worked for that show though.
But that's also how he did. I think he prefers that because he did Home Improvement that
like
way.
that.
Now, what about with the what about with basically the programs that are on these like sitcoms? Do you feel like shows lately on these networks, you brought the local networks, are getting repetitive? I feel like there's 40 billion medical shows, there's 50 billion cop shows, 50 billion detective shows. It's like, how many more things can we be repetitive about? You know, I would love to turn on a sitcom and hear, you know, I love to watch a whole sitcom about a dude in a sandwich shop and just bad fucking crazy shit happening. He's got to put out something wild, like something different not the same shit.
These TV shows that are on nowadays, that are on the local channels, I don't really get into them. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched any of them. I don't watch any of that shit.
Do you feel like cable? Do you feel like these streaming channel packages are pretty much our future now?
I mean, to an extent, because a lot of these apps and stuff, like we have an Apple TV. It's great if you're looking at getting one or wanting to buy one. I highly, highly recommend it. But we have a lot of apps that are cable-based. So, with that being said, say you have Comcast, Xfinity, AT&T. If you have an Apple TV or a Roku, what else is out there? Smart TVs, you know, whatever it is. Say you download the A&E app because you want to watch, you know, the first 48 or something. You can log in with your cable provider. So that's why I think cable's still going to hang around. Because you need that to log in to some of these things to get access.
And two, we don't know behind the scenes what contracts are going down, what's being agreed and not.
Oh yeah, because I can tell you right now, the amount of streaming that we have on our Apple TV, we have, you know, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, you know, CBS All Access, Peacock, which came with Xfinity.
Yeah, I love Peacock. I mean, Peacock's got Dan Patrick's Show, which is my favorite sports.
Got all The Office on there. That. If you're an Office fan, The Office.
Yeah, and the deal with The Office being on there, I feel like The Office is something that everybody's obsessed with.
Well, and that's how they are actually using The Office to advertise Peacock.
Okay.
Because they know if they say, "Oh, The Office is on here, all the seasons," people are gonna be like, "Oh shit, I will pay for that."
Yeah, it's something. So, it's something different. Like it's something. I guess you would say I guess it's like it's something that people didn't expect for it to go. I guess like when I heard The Office going to Peacock, I never expected that. I never sat and thought The Office, which is probably the biggest thing streaming on Netflix, everybody watches, goes to bed to, is completely gone. But Netflix also, they conquer the movie game. They conquer a lot of different things. So I feel like. I feel like these companies are doing it big. Like sometimes I kick myself. I'm like I should have got Netflix stock back when they used to ship the DVDs to your house.
Well, like Netflix, like I watch more Hulu than Netflix. Just because Hulu has more TV shows that I like. King of the Hill, Futurama, Bob's Burgers, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know, all those shows I really enjoy are on Hulu. Now Netflix has upped their game in the true crime department. The Richard Ramirez documentary was excellent if you haven't watched it. Don't Fuck with Cats. Really gruesome, but it's an amazing documentary.
I watched that one, yes.
But they're killing it with their true crime. The Cecil Hotel one that's on there right now is lit as fuck. That is a great documentary.
To dive into that really quick, I'm glad you brought that up. The Cecil Hotel case is one that had blown my mind for years, and I just could not.
Dude, that bitch was on PCP or something.
I don't know.
I think she was on some form of.
I feel like it was something more spiritual, haunted. Like I feel like that hotel has some dark shit in there, like dark energy. Like it basically has this like evil spirits or something. But at the end of the day, it's just. I can't believe that one of the grossest things about that is that, and rest in peace to her, no matter what was happening, it's like, but for the water, it was turning so gross, and these people were showering and brushing their teeth using it, it's like, and it was tasting fucking terrible, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, it's because of a dead body. It's just, it's crazy also too how those water systems work in those hotels, but that hotel is creepy. I mean, I watched those videos a lot, and I remember it used to creep me out really watching that elevator clip.
But just watching her move like the way she was, in my eyes, that just screams that she was on drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You never know. I mean, it could have been the case. I think at the end of the day, it's a mystery that no one's really going to truly know, because it's something that people are very interested in, and people love the case. Clearly, It's like the number one thing on Netflix, but I just think it's one of those mysteries that we'll never know. I mean, we truly will never know, and hopefully, I don't know. It's just, but I think a lot of unsolved mysteries are pretty wild. I mean, you watch those unsolved mystery shows, and it's crazy, some of these cases. Like, I watched one of these unsolved mysteries. This lady was a hairdresser, and she went in and basically was like cutting somebody's hair, and everything was fine, and then she like disappeared, and has been gone for 40 plus years. And you watch these, and you're like, where the fuck they go? Like, what happened? And but it's just, I don't know, it's crazy, these shows. They really get more mysterious, and then it really makes you sit there and think. Like, I'll rethink a case or rethink something I saw over and over because of how wild it is. And then would you say with I guess something that's always interested you and stuff like that, is it documentaries that are your style? I mean, do you like that? Do you like biographical stuff?
I prefer, when it comes to documentaries, I love anything on any form of crime. True crime.
Would you also say that, what would you say the streaming service you tend to air more out of? Is it Peacock you were saying?
No, Hulu and Discovery Plus right now.
And with Discovery Plus, you discovered a airplane show that...
No, not on that.
Oh, what was that on?
That was on CBS. This is
awful. Oh, there's so many.
This is awful. Yeah. I am a horrible person for having all these streaming services.
So discuss the airplane show.
The airplane disaster show is on CBS All Access.
Okay.
And if you do have Comcast or a form of a cable service, you can download the Smithsonian app and type in your cable provider info, and you can watch it there as well.
And now, it's cool that you brought the Smithsonian, because I get really big into watching these YouTube things of top 10s, top 5, and it can be about anything. Top 10 countries, top 5. And so the craziest thing is learning how much shit is actually in the Smithsonian archives, and how much is actually buried under the Smithsonian, and how different things have disappeared, and how a lot of it's a lot of people don't realize that pretty much most of the Smithsonian's archives and inventory is not on display in museums, and that they own, and they have so many museums. So it's crazy how much shit really does go down there, and
they have their own channel.
I mean, yeah, they have their own channel, they get their own magazine, and I love the Smithsonian Museum. I love everything about Smithsonian, but it's it's cool the history, but it's also wild the mysteries of really what do they possess, and it's worldly possessions. And that's another thing to dive into. It's all these places, it's crazy when you do watch those YouTube shows, how many bunkers are out there that are hiding things, or people are hiding their jewels, or hiding these, and it's these companies have these heavily guarded caves and stuff. It's interesting, some of the places they pick. Middle of Pennsylvania, middle of Colorado. It's I don't know. It's just, would you think that ever down the road you would need to store something in a bunker or a mountain?
No. That's too much work, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So it's just, I couldn't see myself either. I'm not prepping
for anything. I'm just living for the day.
That's what I do. I'm like YOLO. Just live for the day. So with So another topic I want to get down with you with is mental health. So mental health is something very, very important to me. It's very important to you. I think important in general for everybody. And so you feel like what are some of the mental health things that you've battled, and what are some things that you feel like have overcome some mental health situations?
Well, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, which the anxiety thing kind of runs in my family. My mother has it, but doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And my great grandmother had it. My grandma gets the same way. But I was diagnosed with that. Went to therapy. Basically, dug out that I wasn't just diagnosed with this, something I've had, but something that's kind of I'm just now realizing.
Yeah.
I went through some shit when I moved here. I hated this moving to Tennessee. You know, I'm originally from Houston, Texas. But I moved and lived in Ohio as well. Then moved back to Texas. But I moved there when I was a vulnerable age and I was starting to make friends.
So that definitely does show, like when you see it in TV shows and you hear everyday like stories, that movement as a kid can really affect.
Oh yeah, because when I moved
mental health.
When I moved out of Texas, I was 13. So I was starting, my 7th grade year. I was held back, so I was a little older, but I was starting 7th grade. I had a great group of friends, and we moved up to Nashville, and it's just like, here I am.
Yeah.
The culture up here was completely different. In the schools, we had that crazy dress code. Not a lot of people knew the music I liked or watched the shows I did. A lot of kids here were, not here in Kentucky, but in Tennessee, I noticed not a lot of kids were exposed to what I was. A lot of them were sheltered, couldn't watch this, couldn't listen to this band, can't do this. And it was hard. It was really hard. And, I, at that time, was just angry. I hated everything. I hated the state. I hated that we moved up here. I bitched. I complained. I hated it. I secluded myself in a room, listening to depressing ass music.
And you didn't really know that you were...
No. And the thing my therapist told me was that move affected you that much. That's what's probably the up-causing of it.
Yeah.
Of why you started realizing... Because I at that time, I tried to kill myself by taking Benadryl. Benadryl. I just slept. I took a great nap.
Yeah.
I took a great nap that day. And that's how extreme it can get. Yeah,
and
exactly.
For not only you, but for others too.
Because I was upset, and I also wrote myself a suicide note, which, I was an idiot and just shoved it under my bed. And being, 14, 13, you don't think about your parents coming in your room and trying to find something that you took from them. Yeah. And my mom found it, and I got pissed off, first of all, and then was upset. So she ended up getting me my first horse through my trainer that I was riding with. So that kind of helped it. So once I got my first horse, I was at a barn with people I could relate to.
Yeah.
I had friends. I got a group of friends going. It was great. Fast forward to high school. I hated high school. But again, I had the horse. I was focused on that. So honestly, through high school, I was fine because I was so focused on riding and showing. I had my horse friends. Was I succeeding in high school? No, I didn't give a shit. I hated high school.
Gotcha.
I just bypassed it. I graduated, but it's cool. In college, things got deep because I was discovering new people. I was kind of trying to discover myself. So in 2011, I was cheated on, and I got a breakup through Facebook, and I basically became a borderline alcoholic because of that. I was drinking every night. I did not come out of my room. My driver's license was suspended. Just a lot of stuff was falling on me, and I just was in a very, very, very bad place. I just wanted to be locked in my bedroom at my mother's house with my dog. And I listened to the Smiths and Ryan Adams constantly.
And that's what helped, you feel like?
No, it made it worse.
It made it worse.
It's just, I just drank. I drank everything. I drank all my emotion away at that point. Mm. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I was waking up to bourbon bottles on the side of my bed every night. Mm. And even my mother was getting concerned.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, I did go to college with you. I was a party animal. I mean, I think everybody knows
But there's party drinking, and there's depressing drinking.
And that's the thing about it. It was like, I was party drinking, I was going hard, but I'll be honest, I not only you, but I noticed, several others, everyone was going through phases, and I think, everybody was so quick, we were so quick, just like, oh, fuck it, let's go take some shots, or let's go party. And that's... It was a way to, so to overcome it. But at the time, shit's evolved so much, even over, like, being a decade out of school, that mental health is which is very awesome. I feel like a lot of shit goes backwards in the world, but a lot of shit goes forward, and it's like mental health is being more accepted now, and I do like that. Like, people are taking it more serious at this point.
Which is good, because it took me until 2019 to realize I need to do something about this.
You need help.
Yeah. I mean, it took me that long that I eventually... The day I went to my doctor's appointment, I literally broke down in her office. And she was like, okay, I see what's going on. Because another thing with depression is I am a horrible person when it comes to expressing myself feeling-wise. Mm-hmm. I hate showing sadness. I show two emotions. I'm either the way I am now, happy and relaxed, I'm content, or I'm pissed.
Gotcha.
There's no in the middle. Like, for me to show sadness, I either bottle it up to the point that I am so angry that eventually it just comes out, or I pick a day, I shut my bathroom, I crank some music up, and I'm in my shower for about an hour. And I let it all out there, and then I come out, and then I'm emptied and ready to fill it up again, which is not good. But
no, I understand. But you do feel like, though, one thing that does help is marijuana.
Yes. I will go ahead and say I was on, when I first was diagnosed, quote unquote diagnosed with it. My doctor gave me 4 medications. I am now only on one of them.
And that is because of marijuana. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to take a lot of credit for it. I did open up Christine to that world and introduced her. And I feel like it's not only has she noticed an improvement, I love the aspect that I could help pretty much save her life from the standpoint of finding something that could really be something great for her. So it's really interesting. And that's why... not only are you a horse expert, but with mental health, it's great hearing this stuff, because not only are you sharing your story, and I think, number one, I thank you for being brave and open up and telling that stuff to the public, the world, but not only that you have found something that's helped. You've also found, because I've known you so long. I've known you since you were, in college, freshman year, and it's like, I've learned how... who you are. I've gotten to know you, but you have definitely grown as a person. Not we all have, but you're definitely you're. I feel like you're more positive. You feel. Oh good.
No!
It's great.
The thing is, like, it's all started when I said, I will say medications. I'm not opposed to them. I'm not opposed to medications by all means. I think that if you need to get help, you have to be on a medication. If that's working for you, that's awesome, because it's working for me. The one pill I'm still on is Cymbalta. Yes. It is the pill that helps with my depression. I continue to take that.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
If it helps, that's what matters.
When I was on that pill, the first month of me being on that medication, my job and my clients at my work noticed a difference in me.
And that is incredible, because when people start noticing a difference in people that you might not even see every day, they're noticing a difference. It's really huge and important, because this is the people you're interacting with. This is the people that are seeing you. It's really easy to be comfortable by yourself or with people that are you're really close to. Like, I'm comfortable with you. I'm comfortable with a lot of my close friends. But there's also times where, I'm a little different. I'm more of an open book. I'm very expressive with myself. I feel like the only, to open up, my time when I've been depressed was when, me and my ex Sydney broke up. Like, that time was basically a really rough time. I went through like a horrible 4-month span of just went to therapy, was angry, was mad. I was fighting people. I was just in a place of just a bad place, and I just did not give a fuck. But it got to a point where I turned it around. I've had an incredible life. I've been extremely blessed for experiences, and I'm always very positive, happy. Everybody's always known me as that. But it's definitely, I've been through that too. And I had thoughts where I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll end it or whatever. I'll shock everybody. But it's not the way to go. It's not the way to do it. There's so much to life. Like this podcast, me starting, not only does this bring me energy and positive, but it's more content, it's more stuff that I'm doing. And it's like what I spoke on episode 1. It's important, and it's important not to give up. And there's so many different ways and outlets for help. So,
well, suicide awareness is a big thing. I'm a big advocate for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, suicide awareness, just it needs to be known, and that you don't have to end your life because your life is going downhill.
Exactly.
Things will turn around. I mean,
but present day, it is so easy to go, it's fucked, it's over,
no, it's really,
there's no solution. But then it's like the next day, usually you're like, oh fuck, you feel a little bit better.
Well, yeah, and like I'm not gonna lie, I've had thoughts before, driving, like, oh, what if I just close my eyes and just keep my foot on the pedal?
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Yeah, I've thought of that, but I didn't do it because things can get better, and it's hard to start believing that, because when you are in a shitty space or a shitty situation, you're just like, I don't know what to do. Fuck it. It's not going to get better. It will get better.
And something I want you to do real quick, Christine, for us. Not only can you reach out to me personally, Eric Clark, but also you can reach out to the Vibing With Sleezy, the podcast, social media, email. But if, not only do I want to hear from you just to show love and get to know my fans, but at the same time, I want to be able to help you as well. So if anybody is going through any mental health issues, definitely reach out. But I would love for Christine to share her Twitter or Instagram, and spell it for them so they can reach out, because I know you're the type of person that you would help anybody as well going through that.
And there's not just with personal people, but there is the suicide hotline.
Yes.
They have now a text where you can text and talk to someone that way. I've done it. Mm-hmm. It works.
Yes.
And you don't have to be suicidal. It can be just you're having a bad day and you just need to talk to somebody, but you don't want to talk to someone that you know. Yes. Talk to them. They will help you, because I am that way. I have a fiance who loves me. We've been together for almost 9.5 years. Our anniversary is actually...
Great guy. Shout out to Jen. Shout out to Jen.
Our anniversary is actually in this month on the 22nd. 21st? Shit. It's somewhere around there. But anyway...
Somebody's stoned.
but he loves... Like I said, he's a great guy, and I feel awful that there's some things I still can't talk to him about, and I know he's there for me. But the thing is, if you can't talk to somebody, go on that suicide hotline and text them. They will help you. And I've done it, and they made me feel great. I couldn't be more thankful for that hotline. But yeah, man, if you are going through shit, my tagline on Instagram or username, whatever the lingo is these days, is washed up equestrian.
Yes, okay. And spell that for everybody.
It's spelled like how it sounds. Washed up equestrian.
How do you spell equestrian for the viewers? You never know.
This is embarrassing. Let me get my phone to spell it out. Sorry, guys.
No, I think it's just good because it is a difficult word sometimes.
Equestrian. Washed up equestrian. EQUES. TRIAN, all lowercase.
And yes, and I'll be posting it all over the social medias. I'll be tagging Christine. You can definitely reach out. You can show her some love on this episode, and give her a shout out, some feedback on how she did, of course. But she's been fabulous. This is a great episode too. There's a couple other things I want to dive into.
Yeah, dude.
That because I think we're rocking and rolling. We've dove into the horses. We've dove into the mental health. We've dove into some stories and some fun facts. But let's have some fun now, and this is some of the part of the show that it's only episode 2, so you don't know as a fan or as a new listener, you don't really realize what all I do. You've listened to episode 1. There's a few fun questions in there, but I'm going to be doing this more. Each episode and show will have some kind of segment that might be different. I might bring back segments. There might be a particular segment that is tied to a particular guest. Like I have Virginia Boone coming on the show here in a couple weeks, and we have a little segment we're going to work on and do on multiple episodes. Same thing with my buddy Aaron. But with Christine here, not really a segment, but I'm going to drill you with a few questions on some favorite things. And I want some rapid fire answers. And here's the thing. I'm not even going to use this sheet. I doodle, if everybody knows too. If people are watching, which I am working on getting episode 1 on YouTube, and we're going to upload 2. And if you're listening and you're wondering, how's Eric do it? How's Sleazy do it? I don't make really that many notes. I make doodles, I make quick lines, and on just one sheet of paper, I hold a book, I doodle, I fuck with this pen sometimes flinging around, but I'm flowing, and a lot of things come to my head. I do research for each guest. If you're average Joe, if you're a professional, whatever, at the end of the day, it's gonna be fun, and that's what it's about. It's just something different, and it's not the same old shit. So here we go, Christine. I'm gonna hit you with about 10 topics, and we're gonna get to know you, and let's just see how this goes. So here we go. This is 10 topics with Christeen Hernandez, her favorites. Here we go. So, your favorite burger joint in Nashville, Tennessee?
Probably Jack Brown's Beer and Burger Joint.
Okay. What is your favorite pizza place in Nashville, Tennessee, the northern Tennessee area there where you live, Hendersonville, Nashville area? To you. This is all to you.
I don't really have a favorite pizza place up there.
Okay. What about what's your favorite pizza in general? What's been your favorite pizza in general?
Sal's in Nashville.
Okay, Sal's Pizza. Shout out to Sal's Pizza, Stewart's Ferry Pike, Nashville, Tennessee. That's also one of my favorite pizzas. They also got a buffet. If you went to college with me, you know. Third question is, what is your favorite beer?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Probably, I really enjoy Rheingeist.
Ooh, nice.
Bubbles, and their I think it's the Wowie. It's their sour. I love sour beers.
What's your favorite liquor?
Vodka.
Okay. What would you say your favorite sports team of all time, of all sports? What's your favorite team?
Everyone. Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Please don't unsubscribe. Please don't. No, I'm joking.
Come on, guys. I'm from Texas.
That's completely fine. Who would you say is your favorite? What's your favorite movie with an animal in it?
Oh shit, that's a tough one. Like any animal?
I mean, yeah, anything. It could be Air Bud, Free Willy.
The horse in the gray flannel suit.
Okay. And what about what's your favorite city to go to in Florida?
Pensacola.
Okay. What is your what's your favorite go-to non-alcoholic drink?
Unsweet tea with lemon and 2 equal.
Okay. And last question, and it's a very important question. If you need to get that drink, where are you going?
Ooh. There's a few places.
What's your top one to get that drink? That specific drink?
McAllister's Deli.
Okay. McAllister's Deli, very big tea place. Also, the baked potato. It's a spud
Their
place.
Their potato salad is bomb.
Shout out to McAllister's. I still do need a sponsor, so I will drink all the sweet tea. I'm a sweet tea guy. She's non-sweet. No, thank you. That was a fun little 10-question round that gets to know. So, the last thing that I kind of want to touch on here before we do wrap up this episode, and again, I thank Christine for being on here. We have dove into a lot of stuff. We've gotten real, personal, had fun. It's been super laid back. I hope you're enjoying this at home. Hope you're enjoying this at work. Hope you're enjoying this just sitting around the crib. But at the end of the day, Florida is somewhere that has become really important to you. Yes. And so, with Florida, I also have a little history tied to Florida. I was actually going to, with a significant other, I mentioned Sydney earlier, but I was actually going to move with her to Florida a few years back. It didn't work out clearly, but I was going to move to Pensacola Beach or Gulf Breeze area. I have fallen in love with it too. Pensacola Beach, Gulf Breeze. Christine goes to Pensacola and Navarre area a lot. We have actually connected down there. We've met up, and we both have a really just love for the area. I mean, I love the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. I love the food. I love all the bars, and so it's something I would say it's not my second home, but I would definitely say it's a place I'd like to get away to. Talk about Florida with us, Christine. Talk about some of the places that you particularly love in that area.
So typically we go to a place called Navarre Beach. That is my favorite place in Florida, but it's kind of a secret. Because it's one of those places that is not as popular and crowded with tourists like Panama City Beach, Destin, and those areas.
Yes.
They want to keep it very quiet, very small, which is why I like it. I am not a big partier. I am a person that just likes to kick back and relax when I'm on vacation.
I feel that.
When I'm in Florida, typically a daily routine for me and Jim would be getting up, coffee, breakfast, bike rides, go to the beach, come back home, chill, go to the bar, go get something to eat, and then go sit on the bay or just hang out outside all night.
Now, Navarre, the cool thing about Navarre is like when you go to actual Pensacola Beach, you have tons of bars. It's a pretty hopping place. I love Pensacola Beach. I've been to probably almost every bar.
I absolutely adore Pensacola.
Oh, yeah.
I have no beef against it. It's less touristy than Destin, but it's, if I want...
But Navarre's got just one bar. Like, that's the thing.
Well, no, they have two bars.
Two bars now.
They've always had two.
Is it always been two?
Yes. So Navarre is basically Navarre and the Navarre Beach. Basically, you cross over the causeway, which is the intercoastal waterway there. You're on the island when you're on Navarre Beach. Yes. It's a barrier island coming off the land, and it connects all the way to Pensacola Beach.
Super flat.
Yes, it's great for biking.
Turtles, too, are a big sea turtle area down there. Absolutely.
Tons of sea turtle nest. Conservation is very big on the Panhandle.
Which is very important to me. It is in life.
It's huge importance.
Very important.
I'm very big on marine life conservation.
And to piggyback off that, they do have a sea turtle center down there where you can see they're studying them, they're specializing
them. The Navarre
them.
Beach Sea Turtle Center is...
Sea turtles are very important to the world. They are a very important species. People don't realize...
They eat jellyfish, people. Come on.
I mean, you're not going to get stung. But they just, they're a special animal, and I really do love what they do down there for protect them.
Well, and Navarre is between the Gulf National Seashore. So it's a protected area. So Navarre is literally surrounded by protected land. Mm-hmm. So you really can't overdevelop. Not to mention there are several Air Force bases down there. So they're also protected by that.
And the thing about the Air Force bases, which is wild, they have a huge Air Force Naval Museum down there of airplanes I've been to. Some of the most craziest airplanes you could see inside one building. It actually just blew my mind. I went by myself. When I went down there, I went to the museum, and I had some time before my ex's family I was staying with. She was sick that day, so I went and I hit the lighthouse up. So I actually have a certificate in my room framed. I reached the top of the Pensacola Beach lighthouse there that was right next to the museum, and I did it barefooted, and it was incredible. I got to see Fort Pickens, Pensacola. You could see almost a glance of Navarre, and so everything about it down there is it's a really chill place.
Well, and another thing with Navarre is, the community cares so much about that place. It's insane.
I will agree.
The locals love the island so much there that they just want to keep it the way it is. Like I said earlier, there's only two bars. They've been there forever. One of them is connected to the pier, which, fun fact, Navarre Beach has the longest pier on the Gulf Coast.
Yes, and it is long. And I will say, I definitely can say that it's long.
I walked that pier probably 4 times the 10 days we stayed there.
And now Navarre also has a great sushi place. There's a great sushi place right across from Culver's. in Navarre, and I will say this, I was always blown away by it. A thing in Pensacola Beach that I really that you and I love to go, and we drank our big fucking drinks.
Flounders
is Flounders.
Okay, so Flounders
those things fuck you up.
Where was it? I think it was me and Jim.
Fuck you up.
So we went there the first time with my mother and her ex, who, yeah, her mother, my mother and her ex. Jim and I went with her 2 years in a row with them to Navarre. So we went to Flounders because somewhere else was disappointing. I can't remember where we went, but we all went there and we got these drinks called diesel fuels. You're only allowed to have 2 of them. They are fucking strong.
Oh yes.
And
I drank 3 once, and I was like, oh, it's not. I was fucked. I was outside sweating.
I drink 2, and I'm pretty tips.
Yeah.
But my mother, and this is what's funny, my mom will drink half of one. Her one only drink, she drinks half of it. She's like, I can't drink this anymore. And she's like slurred her words. So let's just say it, when we went those 2 times.
Shout out to Paula.
Jim gets 2, I get 2, but I end up getting 2.5.
Oh, yeah. and they are so strong, but they're so good.
They're so good.
There's actually there's tons of great places on Pensacola Beach. I will say this, there's another great place that, and you can get this other places in the United States, but a place where you can actually get a pineapple and get fajita, a pineapple fajita. And I bragged to Christine about it. I bragged to everybody about it. It's so fucking good.
Jim and I eventually are going to be moving down to this area.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a plan. It's a plan in the works that we are that's a goal of ours.
And I will be visiting twice a year when Jim and Christine move to Florida.
My mother basically is going to have her own setup in this house because she says she's just going to show up. But
I mean, that's to be honest with you, there is not a cooler thing to hear. Yeah, maybe I'm not living in Florida, but to hear one of your best friends is living in Florida, fuck yeah, like that gives me all the reason to visit. Like, I'm going to Florida.
Well, it's like, eventually we want to move down there between either in Navarre or Pensacola Beach.
Yeah.
I'm open to either. The rule is we just have to be on the island. I need to be on the island. I don't care if I'm bayside or beachside. But we will go to this Mexican restaurant eventually once we move there.
Yes, and it's I will say this, it's just a cool spot. The last thing I want to talk about it is I brought up the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. They used to be part of the Cincinnati Reds farm team system, now the Minnesota Twins. Had tons of great players that have came through there. Even I think at one point one of the Vladimir Guerrero's nephew, but basically, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, they have probably the number 1 stadium in all of baseball. I mean, the golf is in the outfield, in the back. They sell oysters at the stadium. I mean, everything about it is incredible. So, yeah, if you're ever down in Florida, the Panhandle, definitely check it out. I definitely love to travel. It's something that is really big to me. I got about 18 more states to go. I've hit a few countries as well, but I will say this, the thing about Florida that is so cool is that sometimes Florida is just that place that's like, fuck it, I need to go. Like, I need it. Like, I
consider it almost like it's almost like a second home to me just because I've gone down there. I've been going down to Navarre since 2005.
And dude, the thing I'll give you credit on, your energy when you're in Florida, you always have positive energy around me.
I'm a different person though.
You're a different person. You are not only, you're laid back Christine now, but you're super fucking laid back Christine. And that's great. And that's what you need. And I feel like that's awesome that you really get that exposure when you are in Florida. Now, will you say, I guess last thing I want to kind of tie on to that, you've been to Florida, of course you love the whole tropical feel and stuff. Yeah. Would you ever say one day you had unlimited money, you could live wherever, you had a visa to live wherever? Would you live in an island? Would you ever live in like the Bahamas or like a Bermuda or a tropical place? Only because
I still want to be connected. I still want to be somewhat close to my family.
I got you. So no, and so family's definitely key. But okay, well, basically to wrap up the show, a question that I'll ask you. I actually asked Sean P on the last one what his favorite candy bars were, which is always a fun one to ask. But right now, I want you to give me, Christine, I'm going to hit you with something random, your top 3 favorite fast food joints.
Okay. So, number 1, because I'm a Texan, Whataburger.
Okay.
and
they are bringing one to Nashville, correct? Right?
It's going to be in Hermitage, which is about 30 minutes away from me.
That means that you're finally getting access to it close to you.
Yes, which is awesome.
So second would be?
Second would be, I'm going to have to say McDonald's, just because their breakfast is always bomb.
Yes, and
it's affordable.
And if you all need to watch a good movie, or you're trying to figure out a good movie, check out The Founder on Netflix. It's incredible. It's the McDonald's story. It blows you away. It's not. It ain't just Ronald McDonald and Grimace and a bunch of fucking cheeseburgers. It's a lot. So,
and McDonald's wins because that Travis Scott meal was
pretty
the
Travis
great.
Scott meal was fucking fire. And the Travis Scott meal, for if anybody didn't realize, it is a double quarter pounder with cheese. It has the cheese on both sides of the patty, and it also came with barbecue sauce extra pickles, and you had a Dr. Pepper, correct?
No, Sprite
to
and
drink.
A medium fry.
Sprite and medium fry. So
all for
shout out to Travis
$6.
Scott. All for $6. It was a quick meal.
Thank you, Travis Scott.
Yeah, a lot of people. Wait.
My boy from Houston.
yeah. Houston, Texas. Travis Scott.
And
one of the
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes. So, but at the end of the day, I just want to say this has been a great episode 2.
Oh, number 3.
Oh, number 3. We haven't tied on to it.
Hello.
Oh, hello. We got so tied on to that.
Panda Express. 5
minutes from my crib. Panda Express, a classic. I actually had 3 German girls come stay with me. And Jenna, Christine, and Anna, and basically that was one of the main places they wanted to go to besides Wendy's was Panda Express. So that first night we hit it up and we got a smorgasbord of food. But Christine, this has been awesome. It's been a blast. I can't say how much I appreciate you enough for coming on. I know you were just visiting this weekend to get away, but wanted to get you an episode. Not only are you interesting, but you came with some great facts and knowledge. We had a lot of fun, told stories. I think you also have helped people, especially with the mental health thing. So at the end of the day, definitely reach out to me and, show some love. Tell me how you're thinking of the podcast. Keep following, keep supporting, keep downloading. I really appreciate everybody that did download episode 1. It got over 50 downloads, which was humongous. So it's been very important to me. We're on pretty much every platform. YouTube's still working on. And Apple should be coming up this week. Spotify is the main thing. So Vibing With Sleezy, the podcast, will be on Spotify and pretty much everywhere else you find your favorite podcast. So I want to give Christine a chance really quick before I end this show on the final note. Tell them again, where's your Instagram?
Washed Up Equestrian, all lowercase.
And you rep Hendersonville, Tennessee, and Houston, Texas. And we are out. Peace.
Bye.